He put 1 hour bullish question mark and deleted his message after he's seen the bearish gap to the left. I think you've seen that, brother, yeah? Five-minute can switch to being bearish. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're checking in 5 seconds. I assume that the 5 and 15, especially the 5, will get inversed. No, so the 5 got respected to being bullish, which is fine. Now we're inside of macro. If we look on the 15-minute time frame, we're still respecting the bullish gap. So it is bullish as far as that standpoint there. That's pretty much it. So we do have a bullish bias here. We would look for a shift higher market structure. Our draw currently is minor buy side. That's pretty much it. So a lot of people, because they don't know what they're doing and they're inexperienced, they don't trade through this part of December. They would say, oh, I'm not going to monitor Monday to Wednesday of this week, or if it's a tradable day and price action is still trading, look, so Judah swing high 795 to the low 672, so we're still seeing that's 120 points. Price action's moving, and we are here to look for opportunities. We're not here to essentially have a day off. I don't care about a day off. If I could trade on Christmas Day, I would. So it doesn't make any sort of difference to what time of year it is. There's no excuses, right? We're just going to flow straight into 2026, and we're going to execute 2026. And it's going to be a very, very big year indeed. And one thing I will say to you guys as well, as we work through 2026, this group will become private and not accessible from the public, which will be good as well. So you guys will just be here. So it's very good. So you can see we're just trading out of a bullish order block here, and we see if we trade out of this bearish order block to get inversed. So this is our bullish order block, you can see. So we want to see, does this cause a shift in market structure above the short-term high? And validation high is all the way up here. It's actually our TP, so there's no concerns about price taking in validation highs. Our shift would be this high here, as you can see. Yeah, hopefully you guys get more familiar with the model as the days go by. I will mark this SMT because it's likely not going to get taken out for a little bit of time, so it's pretty obvious. We'll leave that there. So you can see no shift in market structure on NQ. Yes, we are forming a gap. Yes, we have inversed the bearish order block. So the bullish order block we don't actually care about. We care about this bearish order block here, which is the one that's been inversed, and it's not paired with the gap. We have another bearish order block here for ES. So we're starting to see some sort of shift in market structure on NQ. This would be a gap which is not paired with any order block on NQ. It's paired with nothing, right? So when this candle closes for a shift, we wouldn't take a long off this gap immediately, because ES is not going to form a gap regardless until the next candle closure at 49. So you just got to take it step by step. You got to take it slow, guys. You can see ES, what is that? It's a failed shift in market structure. So the likely scenario, as much as NQ looks favorable, right? The likely scenario here is that ES actually trades back towards this low and reseeks sell stops because it's a failed shift in market structure. So this the likely scenario on NQ is that we inverse and we trade back towards liquidity, as you guys have seen time and time again. Hopefully that makes sense. Even our bias as of now is not even paired with the opportunity for longs anyway. Right, it's time to add a few chocolate milks to the cart, so I'm trying to get a few orders in here. 3 chocolate milks, 2-litre bottles are coming in hot. Let's get the orders in. Yeah, we know the 5 is bearish. We got the 4 hours bearish as well, so it's pretty clear. I think as of now, you can see ES now is on the second leg of a failed shift in market structure. You see, so it failed to shift here, failed to shift as of this point as well, and it's taking buy stops, buy stops. So whether price continues to trade higher is something we're not interested in. And my question to you guys as well, the backtesting that you guys have conducted as well, how's it been going? And which parts have you backtested as well? Because I know as of now, you know, majority of you guys probably got a little bit more free time in December compared to other points in the year, so I expect that you're spending time with your family and also other time when you're sick of your family and you can't be asked to speak to them anymore, and you backtest, right? I mean, you can only have so many conversations about bullshit until you go upstairs and you lock in. I remember what it was like back in 2022. You know, you'd sit round at Christmas, it's all good and all, everyone's making their New Year's resolutions, when I'd already started last year, and eventually the conversations are good until, you know, when you go for like a family gathering and everything, everyone's having nice food, and once you get back home, you get back to your desk, and then you think, what the fuck were we talking about? That's what Christmas is like. And you also have to make sure that you don't get distracted with talking with family with Christmas, because they don't have your intentions. You must understand that, is that you're going for something far greater than they can ever achieve. And it's not like they can't achieve it, they didn't achieve it, right? So don't take advice from family over Christmas, guys. Make sure you just don't really speak too much. Enjoy time with the family, but my advice personally, that doesn't go well, personally with my family anyway, especially when I was broke and I had nothing to prove or nothing to show, don't speak about what you're currently working towards. If you're just working a job but you're secretly doing this, then don't speak about this. Speak about, yeah, I'm doing my job, I'm currently working a warehouse, and they'll be like, oh great, yeah, you got any other plans? Nah, that's it. And then you'd pull up in a Lambo, or you'd pull up with a new house. Fuck the Lambo. And they'd be like, oh shit, I say yes, I was in the warehouse, you know, I started doing night shifts, now I've got a house. You don't want to, don't tell people your ideas. And if your friends are not working towards the same thing as what you're doing as well, sack them off. sack them off on the spot. You don't want people who don't have the same ambitions, the same drive, the same goal. Get rid of them. If they're smoking weed, sack them off on the spot. That's it. Doesn't matter how long you've known someone, but if they're not working towards the same thing, that's it. I'm serious. I'm very serious with that. So we have sweeps of buy stops, short-term high after short-term high. Our bias leans towards bearish as of now. We are looking for a shift lower market structure. We're looking for a draw on sell side and the new week opening gap as the overall draw. So you can see how our bias has slowly changed as the New York session has been trading. This is the mistake that a lot of people make, is that they determine a bias here and they're going to be sat here thinking they got the same bias. No. Price traded 120 points. Your bias changed. It was bullish. It's traded higher now. How many points? 70, 80 points. It's now bearish. So it's always changing and adapting. 1 hour is bullish question mark. So we're in a 1 hour bearish gap. Wait 1 sec. Let me look at this. No. Yeah, so you can see we're in a bearish gap on the hourly time frame. I don't know what chart. Yeah, brother, we're in a 1 hour bearish gap. And we're in a 1 hour bullish gap. You know, we're trading out of both. But as of now, it is bearish on the hourly. So we was bullish on the hourly, and now we would be bearish because we're above the bullish gap. So as long as we're above the bullish gap from 737.5, then we'd be bearish. If we're inside the bullish gap or below the bullish gap, if it's not been inversed, then we'd be neutral. So anything below this area as of now is neutral. So to assume that the hourly is bearish is correct. The hourly is bearish, but it was neutral when we was in that bullish gap. Hopefully that does make sense to you guys. So it's just strengthening more of a bearish bias. You see? Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I think it's time for a cheat meal. It's not really a cheat meal. It's a cheat meal to me getting calories. I mean, you know, I don't know what's wrong with me, but if I don't eat enough, even if I eat 7,000 calories one day, the next day I'll be a stick. So it's time. Am I bulking? I've been bulking for about a month now. I've managed to put on 5 kg, which is like in pounds for those of you that do pounds. It's over 10 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, so when you are monitoring price, we don't monitor MNQ, we don't monitor the micro chart, we execute on the micro, but there is slight differences between the micro and the full contract sometimes. So we get the full picture of the full contract, monitoring price there. And I do suggest you guys, if you don't already have 2 monitors, you do need 2 monitors. And I mean, if you're only on a laptop, see, I have a laptop monitor and a second monitor. I am getting a 3rd monitor as well, which is on the order. And it's very important that you have, say, your laptop for executions and the monitor to monitor price. Hence why it's called a monitor. You know, it's not a monitor for gaming, it's a monitor to monitor price. That's why it's called that, you know. And I personally like having one monitor for executions and one for TradingView and the other one for Discord. How does the bank account need to move out of the country? How big does the bank account need to be to move out of the country? Well, to be honest, brother, it depends where you're going, what your intentions are and where you're currently from. So you can see we're starting to get a shift in market structure, right? Bullish order block on ES, so we're starting to see an inverse of that. That's what we'd look to see. So we've inversed the bullish order block, which if this forms a gap, this would be paired with a gap. This is our shift in market structure. Alright, cool. So the 5 is neutral, the hourly is trading inside of the bullish gap, so the hourly is neutral. So neutral, and we have a neutral 5 as well, and the 15 is still bullish. The 4 hours bearish, so we have a neutral bias. So we can't take shorts here. Bullish, neutral, neutral, and you can see that's our bias. It's a neutral bias. So as much as shorts is appealing to us here, we can't take shorts. Let's remove this. We know London lows got taken. That would just be a new point of sell side. Okay, so the question is, what changes our bias? See, Tyler's got a nice setup. Tyler's got a lovely setup there. As you can see, we're trading out of the 5-minute bullish gap, which simultaneously trades out of the bearish gap. That's neutral. 15 is still bullish from previous, and it's a draw on the 15-minute high, which we haven't taken. Still bullish. The hourly is trading out of the bullish gap and the bearish gap to the left. That's neutral. The 4 hours trading out of the bearish gap to the left. It's pretty obvious. And the daily is neutral. So that is our set of results. This short's not valid. And that's it. Wouldn't we wait for a sweep of minor buy side? So this would be sweeps of buy stops, and buy stops again. So we've traded into a lower time frame premium of this previous move lower. This would be a sufficient sweep of buy stops and a shift, but not following a bias, hence why we can't take a short here. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, so what was the answer? Does Top Step allow if I trade 5 accounts in my name and 5 accounts in another person? How do you guys do it without getting caught for group trading? Yeah, I don't do that actually, brother. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I'm recording for YouTube, so we'll talk about these topics another time. So if we had a bearish bias, okay, which we would get a bearish bias in a second from the 5 inversing the bullish gap. Okay.
Order filled.
So stop at the short-term high. That's the order block entry. So we formed a bearish bias on the 5-minute closure, as you can see. That's the model. That's the order block entry that I was discussing to you guys. And we are seeking a 2-to-1 for this area here. Okay, so our first point to trail would be this short-term low, as you can see here. So this is TS. So can I explain the entry? We have a sweep of buy stops, shift in structure, inversed order block paired with the gap. We have an order block created after the breakaway gap, and we entered short of the order block on the 5-minute closure, which turned us to have a bearish bias. So hopefully that makes sense. And we have an overall draw for the new week opening gap. 2 points at sell side, London on ES, relative equal lows is also on ES as well. Yeah, so entry off the order block with a valid stop placement. It's very important when you look at entries off order blocks, you want to make sure that you have a valid stop placement as well. So when price takes out this short-term low, the only job as a trader that you have is to manage your risk. So with price taking out this low, we trail towards this high, so it would be a 725 trail. But as of now, you don't trail. There is nowhere to trail to. We have stop at the high of the breakaway gap, which is the protected swing high, and then we trail to 725 as price takes out this low. And you want to make sure that you do it quite fast, because sometimes it can take this low and trail back to the high relatively fast. So this is where volume for price action starts to pick up around this low here. So I'm just preempt trail to the high. There you go. So we're trailing with minimized risk by 80%. It's a 725 trail. On Top Step, I'm only risking $31. I got a better entry on Top Step actually. Slightly later entry on Top Step. So this SMT on ES at 50%. ES has just almost tapped this low. So if we close for this bearish gap here with ES taking out this low, then I would trail towards break even at that point. Okay. So I'm trading towards break even. So completely break even across the board on all of your accounts now, guys. Just passed my eval too. Lovely stuff, brother. Good to see. So now we want to see, does price algorithmically reprice towards sell side, obviously respecting bearish PD rays. And the draw is this new week opening gap that we're looking at. So we have our TP just above for a flat 2 to 1. On Top Step, I've got my TP at 65375. No. Why does it say 653? I think I've got, yeah, a slightly different entry on Top Step. Yeah, I got a slightly higher entry on Top Step. But yeah, my TP on Top Step is 653, but on my live account, it's at 635, and so also on this live account as well, and across the board at 63550. We got the chocolate milk and the Domino's pizza coming in hot as well. Lovely. So essentially, when you're in a position, you expect every bearish PD ray, like this bearish gap here, to be respected and price to reprice lower, essentially along the way of the trade. And when you see a very algorithmic position, every single candle since the last point of entry would close to be bearish. So it'd be bearish, closure, 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 until it meets the objective that price is seeking. And it's very nostalgic to see that, to be honest. Yeah, so I mean, as you guys seen today, this was one of the entries that I've added in to the model, and it gives us, essentially, it does increase our P&L through the year, but it gives us, and the reason why it gives us more entries. So we have an entry opportunity for both a fair value gap and an order block. And today we took the order block short, which you guys seen. And that was the entry that I've added into the model. And then the other part is that I'm looking at London and the PM session to be added in for us to monitor. So we'd start going live during London and also the PM session. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be very interesting. So as far as ES actually meeting the draw, the overall draw of what we would look at with ES taking our 2 to 1 would be this low, and it's not going to happen because NQ's the weaker asset and ES would have to fall off a cliff and NQ would meet the objective. So you can see NQ's reached towards buy stops at this short-term high. It's the high of this bearish order block. It's still being respected, the bearish order block here. So we want to see if we get price to trade out of it. Also trading out of a bullish order block as well. So we have no risk on this position, completely break even. Stop placement as of now, which is good. I got a 719.00 entry on a second live account, which is good to see. Sometimes it doesn't always work like that in favor. You get a different type of entry. Even though on the other account I got a 719 entry, I've got across the board a 715 break even. So some accounts today are going to close in a slight profit, but I'm running all of the accounts at a break even of 715. So it would just give a slight profit if we do get a break even result. So essentially with price as of now, we wouldn't want it to inverse this bearish gap. We look for this bearish PDA to be respected and price to continue repricing lower. If I get break even, yeah, so with a break even result, it means that we monitor the next macro. For example, as of now, if price trails to take out this low and sell side, I would trail towards this previous short-term high, as I wouldn't expect price to reprice towards this area. So that would be a point I would trail, which is this short-term low and sell side to be taken. It would be then towards a 70425 trail. Yeah, so there's not much to do when you're in a position, to be honest. So your only job's to manage risk, and then sometimes we're like this, we just sat, we wait for price action to do its thing, and we're looking at if it takes the low, we trail towards the high, or we get a break-even result. So we're trading towards 715, it's likely going to take us out. Got taken out on top step and the second live account. Why have I not been taken out on this account? It's literally hit and taking me out on my second live. There's no way. There's no way. How is that even possible? I just got taken out on all of my accounts apart from this. Nah. I hope it takes me out now. This is what I'm talking about with equal highs and lows. Is that you can get price to trade towards 715 and it doesn't fill your position or take you out. So this is why I do run my TP just above sell side, or just, you know, below buy side, so I do get a fill even when it does reach that area. I'm not going to make that much, even if it runs to TP. I'm only going to make it on this account. It actually hit 715. But this is a very rare scenario that this happens. I mean, that price runs to break even, takes me out. Let's have a look at trade. Oh shit. The Apex accounts haven't been taken out. I'm still in on the Apex accounts. Okay. I'll take it. That's fine. At least that's actually a P&L because I've got all of the Apex accounts running. That's fine. Well, we've got the Apex accounts, we've got this account. All the other accounts are out, but it's fine. I'm getting ready to flatten this position. Yeah, I can see here, even the Apex accounts, they got an average entry at 25,720. Even if it comes close, I'm going to have to manually flatten. I want to get taken out of break even there because majority of you guys are not in the trade anymore. You would have got taken out, especially on top step. I mean, top step took me out, I think, before I even hit it. That's what top step does. What an interesting first day of macro. I mean, don't really know what to say about that. It's time for a coconut water. So price trades back to the bearish order block, trades lower, trades back to the bearish order block. Now we're trading out of another bearish order block. Alright, what I'm actually going to do is, if you're in this position, I'm going to trail to order block high at 712.25. Because if we trade above that high, we will go break even. So I'm going 712.25. And by the way, guys, that's not me closing out any sort of profit. I would still monitor the second day of macro and also lunch. But this is the final ticket for price to draw lower out of this bearish order block. If it doesn't and it trades to the high, I don't want to be in this position anymore. Okay, so ES just took out, you have to bear in mind ES just took out buy stops above this short-term high. Let's see if we get some sort of acceleration in price lower as of now. I'm still going to monitor the second AM regardless, because about 80% of my accounts got a break-even result. So I'll monitor second AM regardless. But yeah, right now we got a bullish SMT on NQ. ES took sell side, and now ES is taking buy side. Now we've got a bearish SMT on NQ. So it's a bit all over the place. Hence why I put my stops towards that short-term high at 712.25. When you trail stop, how many tick away do you like to be from closing your position? What do you mean? Well, like a manual, what, manually flattening my positions? I'd only manually flatten it when it hits my 71225. Like, I wouldn't do it before. I only, when I see it actually, you know, take my stop. I don't preempt to close the Apex accounts. I mean, the Apex is still running, but literally 80% of my other accounts, they're not. C4 getting some movement. C4, wait, who's actually still in this position? I think majority of you guys are out, I know that. Oh, we actually got quite a few people. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd say, well, by the looks of things, I would say 35% are out and majority are still in. Okay. Well, for your brain's actual sake, anyway, guys, I'll tell you this. We've got 28 minutes left of this trade. Because it's quite rare, but around once per year, some trades you enter and it would still be trading after an hour. Now, my cutoff point is end of hour, which is 11 a.m. If you take a position in 2nd a.m., then the cutoff's 12, and if you take a position in lunch, then the cutoff is end of lunch, which is 1 p.m. So that's always the rule, because if you're still in the trade after an hour, it's completely algorithmic. It's not trading in any sort of favor of you, and I just close out regardless of where I'm at the hour close. Yeah, for those of you on Top Step, I mean, I got taken out of Top Step on myself, and also, you know what, both sides got Top Step. Just, you know, as soon as they had that opportunity at 7:15, they took it. And yeah. Okay, so what I am going to be doing, considering on how slow this is, when price takes out this low, I want to see price accelerate towards the next point of sell side, and I'll be trading to the previous short-term high, which will be at 69675. So if price takes our trail stops for this area, I expect it to continue to the next point of sell side, ES to at least draw towards this point of sell side, and then our trail to 69675. So as of now, just leave your area of trail to 71225. Yeah, we got, what do you call it? We got another person past a Top Step combine. Lovely. It's good to see. I'll tell you what, my pizza is gone probably stone cold down there. Sometimes, you know, this is our job. This is what happens sometimes. Gets a little bit slower. Okay, so I'm trading to 69675. So I'm trailing on the apex in my head, because I'll just flatten it all if it takes that area. So as you've seen there, what I said happened. So we took the short-term low and it's taken the point of sell side. So what we don't want to see as of now is price to sweep sell side and use it as a point of liquidity to sweep. We want it to trade through it, trade towards the next point of sell side, and draw towards the new week opening gap. hence why I've trailed towards this area. So if price does treat this as a point of liquidity to sweep and trade higher, then I'd happily be taken out of this position. And bear in mind, guys, from your entry, if you have hit a 2-to-1, then you should close out. A 2-to-1 for me is at 635. So most of you guys are probably at a 2-to-1 as of now. And there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Straight W's in the chats, guys. I mean, we're going to monitor the next macro regardless. Yeah, spam the W's in the chats. Spam the W's in the chats. And also how much you made as well. Let us know how much you made. Yeah, so pretty much all of my accounts got a break-even result, which is quite disappointing, to be honest, but that's what happened. So pretty much break-even result, and I made how much? 20 accounts. Probably about 35,000. But I'm still monitoring this next macro, so we'll see if we get another opportunity in the second and the lunch. That is slightly disappointing. I mean, you know, stuff like this does happen. It's extremely rare. Let's take a look at the second AM. But I know a lot of you guys made money off that, so it's good to see. For those of you that got a break even, don't be mad and don't, you know, start over trading. I know that can sometimes be the case, that you guys will experience wanting to be in the same boat as others. I'm in the same boat as you. You know, even though I made money, a lot of my accounts are currently made no progress. So don't sit there and be mad about it. This happens sometimes. You get taken out partially on some accounts, and some accounts, it's very rare, but in this case that's what happened. And my second live account had a stop at 7:15, and it filled the 7:15 on my second live, but on this one it didn't. And then on the Apex was still running. So that's what happened. But we're going to look at the second AM, and we're going to look at our bias now. So we can remove this area, and this is also our 2026 approach as well, guys. So the 2026 approach is that after a winning trade, we don't stop. We still look at the second macro, the third macro, the PM, and the London. So we essentially continue to trade with our probable edge, and that's it. After a winning trade, we don't stop. So the idea behind that is it's a facade, it's fake, it's not real, you know. So that will be happening around middle of January. That was when it will be completed. Okay, so I'm going to remove these previous areas in price. Alright. So that's that new week opening gap. You can see how we've drawn towards that area with our bearish bias, you see. So upon this point, our bias was pretty much neutral or bullish around this area, and then we got the inverse of the 5, which was at this point. That was the inverse of the 5. And you can see how price on the 5 closure trades into that nice bullish, the bearish order block, gives another entry and another entry. That's the bearish order block. Some accounts, they got a better entry, and some accounts, yeah, all the accounts got a better entry than this one. And I trailed all of the accounts according to the lowest, which was at 715. And then it came to 715. And then it went to TP. But that's perfectly fine. Okay, so as of now, with swept sell side, we're getting a shift higher in market structure. As far as a bearish order block, we don't actually have a bearish order block in for price, apart from this one on ES, but it's not paired with a gap, so it's not possible to get the model as far as closing for a gap. So don't anticipate a long here. We need to redo our bias, which we're going to do in a sec. I'm just going to delete this area here. There's no order block there. There is an order block here on ES. That's the invalidation high. So the daily's the same. The 4 hour was bullish, actually neutral, and it's currently bearish. So the 1 hour would be bullish, trading in the bearish gap. It's a neutral on the hourly completely. The 15 is bullish, and the 5 would be bearish from this point. Yeah, so it was bullish out of the new week towards being bearish. We've actually still got a bearish bias. So longs here is not something we'd look for. Yeah, make sure to post your P&L as well, guys. Post your P&L on the daily results channel. So if you pass your accounts, you know, you get funded, you get payouts, everything. You know, we even got a flexing channel as well. So when you guys start buying M3s and, well, fuck the M3s, start buying houses and everything, you can start flexing it on other people there. So make sure you post in the daily results channel. As far as taking longs, by the way, you know, we've got bearish bias, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, on both my top step accounts, when it hit 715, I got taken out for a $50 profit across the accounts, because I obviously trailed in a slight profit, because 715, my entry was at like 717 or something. So yeah, I mean, as I've said, I mean, we are the best in the whole space, guys, and no one puts in more work than me. I'm so confident in it, because they just don't. I put the most work in and I get the most out, and it would always be that way, until we take over the whole world. So that's what we do. That's what we do. We have no limits. Yeah, I don't know if my live accounts, from the size they are, I don't know if it caused actually for price to stop hunt the stops. Nah, it's not possible. It's not possible. It's actually not possible. If you guys think that, you've also lost your mind as well. It's not actually true that price would seek to your trailed stops. Majority of you guys are on funded accounts anyway, so it's not even a real thing. As far as order flow, but if you're trading, billions of dollars, then it does then become a factor. But no, not for the position that I'm currently at. Ever get in trouble fills on a live? No, not really. I don't get troubles fills. I mean, you'd only get a trouble getting a fill on a live account if you're trading $100 million plus. That's when you might start to find issues getting fills. But you won't really get issues. It would still get filled. But yeah, I mean, majority of you guys, every single one of you guys, I'm sure, is not trading at that area, on that level yet. See, he's got 550k expresses. Lovely stuff. You've got a I remember this name. Japanese or Chinese, I don't know. Japanese or Chinese or something else. Chinese. I passed today and made a profit of 2,000 on everything. What? Wait, yeah, so Japanese. Wait, so you passed today and made 2,000 on everything. Wait, so let me think about the risk management here. You got 4.5k drawdown. You should be risking 600 per trade to make 1.2. You slightly over risked on that trade there. It's fine. Don't worry about it, brother. But make sure, I'm gonna tell you this now. I'm not too sure how you understand English, but what I would say, this risk management plan here, for your 150k accounts that you have there, it's very good that you have that because you have an increased drawdown of 4.5. Follow the risk management plan funded, but double it across the board. So times it by 2. And wait, what I'm going to do, times, I'm going to put 2 so he understands, 2x the risk management. You can put this in Google Translate. Okay, so as far as a model for shorts here, guys, I don't see this as a sweep of buy side. I want at least this high and this high to get a point of buy side. This short-term high would be sufficient, but we haven't actually taken out anything as of now, which is a point of interest for buy stops. 2x on the risk management sheet. I was able to withdraw 6,000 in. Lovely. Nice. 2x the risk management sheet. Hashtag risk management funded for your 150k accounts, risking 600 per trade to make 1.2k per 1.2k per account. Use slightly. I'm like a keyboard warrior here. It's okay, just make sure to risk $600 per account moving forward. And what's his username? How do I even at him? There he is. Alright, there you go, brother. You can put that in Google Translate. Jack said Top Step needs to get their shit together. They fucking me out of profits. Yeah, I mean, you know, Top Step took me out of that short, and then what else? I got taken out on Alpha Futures. I got taken out on My Funded Futures. I got taken out on Take Profit Trader. I got taken out on the 20 Apex accounts under, you know what, and then the 20 accounts under another. I actually had them still running, which was surprising. So I had those, and then I only had this. I got taken out on pretty much everything, even the second live account as well. So I didn't make close to what I would usually make. I mean, that trade would have ran for about 90k, and I closed for, I think it was around 35-40, so below half. He's actually put it in Japanese. That's jokes. I don't know how well that converts. That's a mad language that you can even write that. How do you even write some of these letters? You know, when you're writing and everything, how do you even write? That looks like a painting. That looks like a painting, brother. Why do you have two live accounts? The reason why I've got two live accounts is because one under my name and one's under my mum's name. Now, because I'm obviously running more accounts, I'm not going to get into it, but, you know, I'm still recording for YouTube. But because I'm running more accounts, the payouts that, you know what, receives, I'm giving a split, you know, obviously because I'm nice. And then the other part of the money, I'm not actually keeping it, but putting it into a live account, which is under her name, if that makes sense. So that's why I've got two accounts. And I also did top up that account with the Rolls Royce that I sold, and then also I also put some of my crypto portfolio into that as well. 21-year-old Texas Roadhouse server arrested after no receipt. Sparks. Yeah, I mean, she's mid, you know. I don't even know if I'd give it a go, to be honest. I'll give it like, give it a rating. Go on, let's give it a rating, guys. Probably a 6. Like a 5. I mean, we only got face here. We only got face. I think that's probably a 5. I think the only times that majority of us would even bother is if we was like in jail and that was like our last resort, you know? I remember going to that Texas jail. It was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had. When I was driving the car from Miami to Houston and they locked me up for 3 days. Oh, I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was just sat there, just looking at. Oh my god, that was like I didn't shower for 3 days because obviously I've seen the US movies and everything. I was like, I can't shower right now. This is mad, you know. I was wearing the same blue dark. I felt like Prison Break movie, right? It was mad. Yeah, they checked through all the luggage, you know, they opened up my suitcase and they just seen loads of trading monitors, they seen my laptop, they seen cameras and shit, and they didn't find anything. They even seized the pack of cigarettes. They seized all my cigars. They didn't give the cigars back. Nothing. In fact, the reason why they didn't give the cigars back is because they were Cubans and apparently they take it quite seriously in the US, but they seized all of the Cubans. It was like over $1,000 in cigars, but yeah. They also broke the car as well. They broke the Cullinan because when I picked it up, it didn't turn on. There was no oil in the engine. I started panicking. The car broke, but I put a bit of oil in it and it worked. Topped the battery up a little bit. The idiots decided to leave the ignition on. That's why the car died. Or maybe it was me actually. I think I left it on. They just towed it. Our first call was scheduled the day you went to jail. I remember that. I was sat there and I was thinking, I was like, what am I going to say? Like, how can I even do anything, you know? I had no phone, no laptop, nothing. And the food, holy shit. The food was awful. It was awful. I remember I put like £100, right? Or $100 onto the canteen tab in the jail. And apparently that was a lot of money. I put $100 on thinking that, and I didn't realise everything I could buy. Like, I came back with like 2 shopping baskets full of stuff, you know. Are you gonna post a new vlog soon? What, the vlog in Dubai? Yeah, maybe. I haven't really got round to it yet, to be honest. Right, I'm gonna look at the bias here. We have sweat buy stops. We've got 5 as bearish, 15 as bullish, an hourly is neutral. Actually, it's 20 seconds. An hourly is bearish. We traded out of the bullish gap in the bullish gap. Inverse the bullish gap, it would be bearish. The 4 hours also. That's a failed shift on NQ. It is a shift on ES, but there's no sort of model here as of now. So it's a failed shift on NQ. The amount of opportunities that we're going to get is a massive increase because we now have a new entry requirement, which is not just fair value gaps, but it's also order blocks. But we also have 3 new macros that are being added. So we're expected to take close to 2 times more positions, which makes us 2 times more money. The way I explained it earlier, actually, I explained it to someone, is that essentially we're operating as a business where customers are coming to our door at 11, well, customers are coming to our door at London session and the PM session, and we're closing, and we're not here to take the money. That's what we are as a business right now. We're just operating at times that we like, which is the New York. But the London, if you trade the London through 25, 24, 23, you close out in a profit. If you trade the PM, you'll close out in a profit. So if we add those two, that's more profit. And if we don't stop trading the day when we're in profit and we trade all of the sessions, then you've put all of the sessions' profits together by the end of the year, which is a greater P&L. That's how the maths works. So as of now, it's just a failed shift on NQ. The gap is paired with the inverse order block. It's fine, but there's no shift. Pretty simple stuff. Where's our bias? There it is. It's actually bearish on the hourly there. Trading Asian session is never going to happen. We won't be trading Asia. It's just something I won't implement to price. I won't monitor Asia. It's pointless. So essentially, I quite like the structure because it means that 3 to 4 p.m. in my time, which is in Thailand time, which is complete opposite of EST. So 3 to 4 a.m. we monitor price. So 3 to 4 p.m. my time. So for those of you that are in Dubai, if you choose to locate in Singapore or you choose to locate in Japan, you're going to be fine. So 3 to 4 p.m. I monitor London, and then I have a 5-hour break until the New York, and then we monitor 3 30-minute macros in the New York, and we look for opportunities, and then we have a 2-hour break, and we have the PM, and after the PM, that's it, we're done. So the best time zone possibly is actually Dubai to monitor London, New York, and the PM. It does give you the best flexibility because the time zone's slightly earlier than Thailand. But I'm not really fussed about going to sleep. I don't really care about going to sleep at 2 a.m. I mean, I do it anyway, so I sleep at 2 a.m. I get a solid 8-9 hours sleep. If I wake up at 10 a.m. I haven't missed anything. And then I get on with the day and take business calls and sort business, and that's it. And then we get ready for London. So yeah. Yeah, if you're in New York, you're going to be waking up at 2 a.m. It's pretty mad. If you're actually in the New York time zone, I suggest that it's probably best that you don't trade London. You look at the PM and you look at the AM. Stick to that because it will be profitable regardless. You're going to make money. You'll miss the London opportunities, which is fine. You'll still pass your accounts. You'll still take a payout. Do that for now and then relocate yourself. So that's what I would do. That would be my advice. If your time zone's fucked, to unfuck yourself, you want to move locations. Yeah, Singapore is the same time zone as Thailand. I was thinking of moving to Singapore, but I think it's just too well built of a city. I know it sounds weird to say, but I think, Thailand's just way more laid back. The police don't give a shit if I ride my bike at 300, etc. Fighting gyms, whatnot. It's just perfect. The other time zones you got are not very good on this side of the world. You got Pakistan. Who wants to live in Pakistan? No one wants to live there. India, not many people would choose to live there. And then you got the Maldives. I mean, people choose to visit, but you can't live there. I mean, you go for like a week. You've got I've said India. You've got Dubai, Singapore, and Thailand. I think that's the only three choices, really. Australia's cooked. You can't go there. Yeah, London is at 2:45 a.m. EST. That's the first macro of London, 2:45 a.m. So we'd start marking out the levels really around 2:30 a.m. Yeah, I never understood the concept why people stop trading during December. It's like, you know, I just made like $40,000 whilst people were sat around a Christmas tree with, you know, I don't know what you call it, but we're here doing business. I mean, we basically got break even, but it's a 50-50. I can see Leo's passed his alpha future accounts. He's just got max allocation, which is good to see. My question, where's Jex? Jex, are you there, brother? What is your... Yeah, what is your account of what we spoke? Where's it at now? Because obviously you needed 1500. Did you get the 1500 or did you get, like, say, break even, or did you get 600? Break even, yeah. Yeah, I would have thought that because Top Step took me out on both sides, so... Yeah, it's pretty to the tick. Yeah, December's pretty clean. As far as the model, it's produced an 8.5R during December. And I'm currently sat at 4.5R result of December as of now. So that's good to see. So usually Q1's a little bit slow, but we always close out Q1 in a clean profit. And then Q2 definitely is one that picks up. Q3's very good as well, and Q4's hit and miss. It can be very aggressive or not. The PM is at 1:45 PM to 2:15. Can you repeat the loss protocol for every trading session? Yeah, so basically when we monitor the London session, we would look at London. I think my pizza's probably got a rat in it downstairs. I'm gonna have to order another one. But we got the London session. If we take a loss in London, it does cap us at one loss. So we don't monitor the second London macro. If we take a loss in the first London macro, We're only capped at, well, we're capped at one loss in London, so we'd wait for the New York from that point, and we'd monitor New York. If we take a second loss, then we are done for the day. That was in all cases. If we take no trades in, it's always two losses is the cap, but as far as wins, there's no cap on wins. We continue to monitor price. But that's not been implemented yet. That's not actually, as of today, this was a very rare situation, very, very rare. And I made money, but then I didn't make money on some of the accounts, majority of the accounts anyway. So I'm continuing to monitor the second and the lunch. Dragged to Harrods this afternoon with the missus. She's taking payout money there. I like the food in Harrods, to be honest. I think, in my opinion, Harrods is the best shop in the world. Honestly, it is. They have the best food in the food hall downstairs. They got nice restaurants upstairs, and they have the best clothes of what I've seen in the whole world. I've been, Saks Fifth, New York, all of these different places, Saks Fifth, Miami, but Harrods in London does have the best clothes, in my opinion. I think you can't get better than that. Like, to be honest, I don't really go with all of these trends as well that people have. Like, all this baggy clothing shit. I don't really like it, to be honest. I'm still stuck in 2018. I still wear the same outfits pretty much, just a little bit different. But I'm not wearing this baggy homeless shit with like rips and t-shirts. I'm not really about that. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people are wearing this. It doesn't even look good. It's like you go to the gym to wear a baggy ass fit to look like a homeless man. I don't understand it. It's not me. I still wear a Mary jeans like 2018. I don't know why people don't. Well, obviously, people move on, but I haven't moved on. I still wear, a Mary jeans, black tee. Simple, My favourite outfit to wear on a more serious occasion, I actually wear it quite a lot, but it would be the Theory. If you get Theory, it's not even much. It's like $500 for the fit, and then if you get a pair of shoes, you can get where is it? What loafers? I got Ferragamo. I think it's Ferragamo. Is that how you say it? I got Ferragamo loafers, very comfortable. Or you can get the LV loafers or the Gucci loafers. And with a Theory, it's a comfortable Theory suit. I think you guys see me wear it, but I like that fit. That's as smart as I get. Otherwise, I mean, I used to wear tracksuits and everything. I don't wear tracksuits anymore. I think they just remind me of my past. I stopped wearing tracksuits many, many years ago. I still wear like hoodies and shit, jeans, but I don't wear tracksuits. I don't personally like the full tracksuit. Yeah, so nothing inside of this second AM. We're gonna wait for the lunch, 11:45. I'm gonna go see if there's anything left of the pizza downstairs, and then I'll speak to you guys for the lunch, which will be at 11:45. So I'll unmute around 11:35. Alright, yes guys, so, lunch macro. I was just getting into that pizza. Yeah, it was slightly cold. It was alright actually, it kept a bit of warmth. I think Thailand's quite hot anyway, so free heating. Bit of coconut water. Okay, so let's look at lunch. I mean, we're going to look at our bias here. Let's start off with that. So the one thing you're probably looking at on NQ, is this an opportunity for shorts? Well, it doesn't take you long, but if you look on the ES, there's no gap, so it's a failed shift. So we're actually likely in this scenario to trade back towards the short-term high. We'll look at our bias now. Let's take a look. So, and hopefully you guys actually enjoy this. This is actually a little taster of what to come for 2026, because after a winning trade, we are still looking for more opportunities. That is the likely scenario of what's going to happen. And you'd be up on the day, but we'd still look for more opportunities. And there will be days where you close a 4-hour profit and you make absurd amounts of money, which would be absolutely, sickening. And there'll be days when you go from a 2-hour profit and you go back to break even. And on those days, it's going to be a lesson, because it's very important, to learn that if you haven't already experienced. I mean, majority of you guys probably experienced the winning day turning to break even just from taking trades outside of the model, so you've already done yourself a favor. But as far as following the model and then going back to break even, you don't want to try bring it back to what it was. That's where you're meant to be. So as long as you follow the model one for one, that's where you're going to be. 2026 6 figures. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's a minimum requirement, for you guys. I think 6 figures is doesn't really go very far, especially in the US these days. So this is our bias. The daily's neutral, the 4 hours bearish. You can see we inversed the hourly from this closure. We've actually still got a bearish bias on the hourly, and we're trading out of the hourly bearish gap. So our bias is bearish towards the new week. And then on the 15, we have a bullish bias on the 15, and that still stands. And then on the 5, you can see we had a bearish bias, but we actually have a bullish bias out of the 5-minute bullish gap. So our overall bias is neutral. So what we would actually like to see is price take the short-term high. Even our bias is telling us that. So we have a failed shift on ES with a neutral bias for price to re-seek liquidity if we want to seek a bias. So short-term high or buy stops, whatever you want to label it as. It's really just a point of buy side. That's all it is. So what does this mean on ES standpoint? Well, when you see a failed shift like this, it's more or less trading into intraday imbalances of this move here to then re-seek a high. If we take a point of buy side and then we don't see an aggressive shift in market structure, with essentially the shift in market structure gives an idea that sellers are stepping up and we're having aggression for price to then seek sell side, right? But when we don't see that, and we see a failed shift, it's likely trading into intraday imbalances to trade back towards a high. So hopefully that gives a bigger idea. Let's put the phone on charge. Yeah, don't really expect that for the future. I wouldn't even say that happens once per year. That's probably even a stretch in itself. I think that's probably happened like once in my career. No, it's happened probably twice actually. Probably once every like 2 years that we get. Now, I don't even know if that's ever happened. Has that happened before? I think it might happen once. When you're in a position, it takes some accounts out at break even, and then, it runs to TP. It's probably happened like, once before. It's very rare. Don't expect it to happen again. Well, it will happen again, but it will happen in like a year or two. I mean, it's not a regular occurrence. $10K a month to start. Alright, so let's talk about this. How much accounts do you need to make $10K a month? Well, let's presume one account with a $300 risk and a $600 profit on an average month of a 5R. So 300 times 5 is 1500, which is 3K per month per account. So if you have a set of 5 accounts, you've exceeded 10K a month. So 5 50K accounts exceeds you and puts you around 11 to 12K a month. And that's without introducing London, without the PM, without stopping after a winning trade. We've got GG at the gym. See, he's multitasking. He's not playing games. He's monitoring price whilst he's in the gym. Milo, have you backtested the model with all macros? I've forward tested the model for 2 years. I used to trade London. I used to trade the PM. I've made a lot of money during those macros, and I specifically dedicated myself to the New York session. Now the reason being is because back in 2022 and 2023, when I was trading ICT and I was trading those macros, and they were very low in volatility, very low. Price action barely even moved at all. You would be lucky to see a 15-point move in London back in 2022. 15, 30 points, it barely even moved that much. But now, in 2026, the Nasdaq is in an extremely volatile state going into 2026. We are trading at highs we've never seen. The Nasdaq has moved more aggressively now than it has in the last 10 years. And this point is it's an advantage for us, because going into 2026, what we're going to see is a volatile year. Therefore, London's going to be more volatile, presenting more opportunities, and same with the PM. So there is no reason why we wouldn't monitor the PM and London if it's volatile. The reason why I stopped, because it wasn't volatile, it wasn't moving, price action was slow and unalgorithmic, because there was no liquidity in those sessions. But now it's different. Yeah, if you want to make, let's say, 50K a month, you need 38 accounts. So you need Top Step, Take Profit, Alpha Futures, My Funded Futures. Did I say them all? Yeah. And Apex. 20 Apex accounts. That's 50K a month. I believe that's 50K a month. That actually is probably more. I think that's more. That's a very conservative 50K a month. You'll probably be making about 70, 80. How many accounts do I have? I've got... I don't actually know off the top of my head. Let me check. Why is my... Oh, my phone's not charging because it's not plugged in. What a retard. Alright, cool. So let's have a look. So I've got 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 53, 58, 60, 63, 66 accounts. Majority of them being 50Ks. Jesse, that is a banned topic. We will speak about that. Absolutely, we'll speak about that. But we have to speak about it, when I'm not recording for YouTube. So in 25 minutes, we will discuss. It's actually very simple. It's so easy to do. You just have to be. There's just a way of doing it, really. And there's ways to not do it because you actually will get cooked. At Milo, you getting a new bike in the future? I've currently what? You talking about like a motorbike? I mean, I've currently got a Z1000, and the exhaust system is unbelievable. I've got Pirelli tires on there at the moment. I can't remember which ones they are. I usually know what they are, but they're good tires anyway. There is no shift on ES as of now, and paired with this gap, we do have an inverse bearish order block. There's no shift on ES. We're bearish on the 5, so we've got a bearish bias. So you wouldn't look for longs here regardless, because we do have a bearish bias. So I want to see price take out, say, a short-term high like this. I'm going to delete that. Does Apex even pay? Apex does definitely pay, and if you follow their rules and consistency, then you're fine. Just trade normally. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to over leverage. That's it. Well, the answer to your question about getting a new bike, I've actually actively been looking for a new bike. I want to get the H2R, and I keep looking for someone to sell the H2R, but I can't find it anywhere in Thailand. No one's selling the H2R. I've seen one, I think I've seen one H2. I'm not interested in getting a H2. I want to get the H2R. Apart from that, I will stick with the bike I got now. It's very comfortable to ride. The H2R is extremely aggressive riding position. It'll probably kill me as well. So, I'm pretty comfortable with the bike I got now. It's good for wheelies as well, And it's the loudest bike in the whole city. I mean, if you're ever in Pattaya and you hear a bike, it's likely my bike, to be honest. There is a lot of super bikes here. I get into quite a few races. This is where I plan to shower in 2 weeks. Gonna live out my car. I mean, I don't recommend that. I do recommend that you have a job. I think you might have taken it a step too far. I don't understand why people live out a car. I mean, there's so many jobs in the US that people can get. Or anywhere, really. Just support yourself. Don't live in a car. I mean, when I first started, I didn't go homeless. I didn't live in a car, you know. I was working security shifts 12 hours a day, learning ICT, and then getting paid. Just go work in Walmart, or do a night shift stacking something in Walmart, or do anything. You gotta do something. This business is not one that you want to be living out of a car. I will tell you that. Yeah, as much as it might seem frightening or like a goal or an achievement for you to do, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, what I would do tomorrow, well, it's still daytime for you. What I would do after this session, in fact, I would walk into businesses and say, I need this, and start calling the agencies, and then have something by the end of the day. Don't say, I'm trying to figure it out. I know you are, but get it figured today. And, you know, you just got to get that sorted today. I mean, I would have that figured out today. But yeah, you'll get over it, brother. Don't stress it. All in due time. We got DJ locked up for the winter. Is that what is that? Is that a Z? It's either a ZX10. No, it can't be a ZX10. Is that a 600? 600. Oh, it is a ZX10. I rarely see these colours of black. That's a nice colour scheme you got. Yeah, it's a nice colour scheme. A lot of the ZX10s, they always come as green, don't they? But you've put yeah, it's nice. Seen a video of someone in the US recently. They was riding their bike, took out for a spin, and there's ice everywhere. Just a crash, you know. As far as price shifting lower market structure, even though we took buy stops, ES can't even shift below any of these lows. You're going to see GG sprinting from the bench press. He's going to be like mid-rep, probably pushing his last rep, hitting it to failure, and he just hears in his AirPod, I'm looking at a short, and you just see him sprinting across the gym to get his laptop. That's what I picture. If you guys are in the gym, what do you do if a trade presents? You got another guy asking how many sets you got left, and you're in a position trying to manage. That's jokes. But he threw his baby across the room when he seen that we was taking shorts. Well, that was it. I didn't think I was going to take shorts, and then when I seen the 5 got inversed, it flipped our bias to being bearish straight away, and the entry was straight away as well off the order block, so we entered immediately. And I knew it was a 40 handle stop. I took it with 4 micros. I knew that 40 handle stop is 4 micros on the majority of accounts. I took it with 8 micros on the rest. How am I supposed to train with a laptop in my hand? I think it's probably best that you just put the laptop on the floor, slap an AirPod in for the Discord stream, get a few reps out. I mean, the question is, why are you even at the gym whilst you're in macro? Yeah, I mean, like, if he's doing cardio and he puts his laptop and then he sees that we're taking a trade or something and he forgets to press the stop button, you just see him going flying off the back of the machine as he's trying to enter a trade, and he just gets stopped with no stop loss. So we got a neutral 5. Yeah. And then we've got a neutral 15. Because of this SMT, it's neutralized intraday. Someone said bearish 15. Where are you getting a bearish 15 from? I'm so confused. I don't understand where you would get a bearish 15 from, because even over to the left, you can't have it to be bearish. Unless that's inverse. It's been respected. So it's neutral on the 15. Buddy, there's actually no one in that gym. That's pretty mad. Bearish on the hourly and bearish on the 4. Okay, so locate a low for ES to shift would be this one. We have swept buy stops and buy side, SMT bearish on NQ. The shift would be below this low and this one for ES. The bullish order block would be this one on NQ. And then for ES, it would be this one. So we're likely using ES as bullish order block here. I think GG can hear the audio. He's starting to panic whilst he's in his sets. He thinks that we're about to take a position. Well, I mean, it's getting closer, but as of now, there isn't anything. Continue repping it out, brother. Yeah, for those of you with PCs, I mean, I've never had a PC before. I've never used PC. I do recommend the MacBook, to be honest. The MacBook Pro, you can get one off Facebook. You don't even need to go to the Apple Store. I don't even suggest to go to the Apple Store and get a new one. Just get the M3 Pro. I've got the M3 Pro. I don't even have the M4. I've not even bothered to buy the new one, or M5, or whatever they have now. I went to get the M4 when I was in Miami, and they said there's no difference between the M3, so I didn't bother. So the M3 Pro is going to do you just fine. You can connect as many monitors as you like. Doesn't glitch. It's perfect. Milo, how do you take 4, I am assuming you mean micro trades in eval and 8 micros in funded? Well, I execute 4 micros and then I execute 8. If you're running it on TradeSync, for example, you can put them at a 2x. So if your leader is a 1x, it's executing 2x on the 2x ones you want to have. So, you know, you can adjust it. Does Mac work with TradeSync? Right. Well, I did just say I use Mac. No shift on ES, likely going to trade back towards that high there. Shift on NQ, nothing as of now. How do you know which button to take? One order block is demand and the other is supply. What? Well, we have a bullish order block on NQ and bullish on ES. It got inversed and we just look for it to be paired with the gap. So as soon as we have a order block inverse paired with the gap, then it would be either a mitigation or a breaker paired with the gap, and that's just a confluence for the model. But right now we don't have a shift on ES, so regardless we can't actually, you know, take any positions at all. I didn't really understand your question too well. I have a MacBook Pro and also have another PC. So you say I can connect my monitor to the Mac without using other PC shit. That's what I do, brother. I connect. That's a strong shift on NQ and a shift on ES. If ES closes up that gap, this will be the end of the macro likely. We've inversed the order block, that's paired with the gap on NQ. So the 5's bullish. And the 15's bullish as well. So this gives us a neutral bias. And then the hourly is of course bearish, the 4 hours bearish, the daily is the same. Only if we inverse the 5 it will give us a bearish bias. So we can't take shorts here. This is not a opportunity for shorts. We've got a neutral bias. So if in 50 seconds it's going to be the same scenario, it'll be an inverse of a 5. We can then take shorts. So pay attention to that on this closure. And this is the only if we inverse the 5. If we inverse the 5, this is what our stop placement would be. So around 10 points. That's only if we inverse the 5. Then we can seek shorts. Okay, so we inverse the 5. I'm looking for a short. Let's see if we get an entry. So an entry short would be here. So a premature entry would be from ES, if ES taps the gap. So no entry on ES. So it's about 11.25 if ES taps the gap. This would be our invalidation low, as you can see, which is at 693.50. Okay, so ES has just tapped the gap. We can take that entry. Okay, so our stop is here. Okay, so we'd look to trail our stops from this short-term low here. So this would be a point of trail stops. Do I have a video on the order block entry? Potentially on the YouTube. I'll explain it to you shortly after this position. So what we're looking at as of now, if price trades towards this TS where we trail stops, our stops would then be at 705.00. So it would give us a minimized risk of just below 50%. Or just over 50% risk reduced. As of now, we're risking a 1R. So I'm currently up 2R today on this account and also the Apex accounts. And then some accounts obviously at break even. Yeah, so for positions like this, what you will find is that obviously you have two results. It would be -1R or you get price to trade in favor. But during the PM session, when price is relatively slow, what you will find is that when it does trade in favor, it will accelerate massively and you would see a big inject of, volatility just come in very, very fast. So it picks up very fast. That's just what to expect, for London and PM. That's how it usually trades. It will start off slow and then it picks up quite fast. So this would be the final macro that we monitor today. Of course, lunch. We wouldn't look at the PM. And that would conclude our day after this position. So as far as trailing stops, you would trail your stops upon this area here. So if price trades to take out this short-term low, that would be a point that you can trail your stops. Okay, so if we form a bearish gap here, I will trail towards 709.25. Yeah, so I'll go towards 709.25. Pull that on top step as well. And then also on the second live and the other trade sinker as well. Yeah, so I just moved the stop towards that short-term high at 709.25. So the idea behind it is that we have a bearish order block and a bearish gap. We would look for this to be respected and price to trade towards these short-term lows and not trade back towards the high. That wouldn't be price respecting bearish PD rays. And that's it. That is us out of the position. Alright, cool. So we are done for the New York session. And the result on this trade here, our original risk was 11.25, 9.5. So it was minus 0.82R. And then with the first trade, that was a 2R. That first trade was only secured on just a couple of my accounts. So that was what we got for today. Did I get a visa for Thailand? I've got a 5-year DTV visa that's currently getting processed. So once that's up and away, then yeah, essentially I can stay for as long as I like. But I'll be leaving before it gets towards the rainy season, and then I'll be heading over to... I'm not really too sure where I'm going to head over to, but I'll figure it out. Did I take this one on Apex? Yes. It was good speaking with you guys today, and we will speak tomorrow, so Tuesday, New York AM macro, and we'll be live at 9:20 AM. Speak to you guys shortly.